are named after the waxy substance called spermaceti, if I'm pronouncing that right, that is found in their heads. Early whalers thought the substance was semen, which is why the whale is called a sperm whale. There you go.
Right on. Okay, now nobody knows what we're talking about here. So
but it was a good discussion.
Harry and Greg continue to Google sperm whale. We're back with another episode of Bring Your Own Booze, Bring Your Own Beer on Beer Analysis 101 with your host Maxwell Starr. Tonight, we're of course taking a look at. I mean, this is dry January, right? But as per the rules of the GoDry.ca website, you can purchase people a golden ticket, which gives you a night off. And I'm choosing tonight to take a night off. That's why Carrie's here, because he hates non-alcoholic beers. Anyway, without further ado, we are taking a look at beers that, well, it's golden ticket night. Make it count. So whatever tonight's beer, it's got to be awesome. So let's see who we've got with us. And actually, Carrie was the first person to show up today. I think he's really eager to get started. And,
he's like a Spider-Man.
Here, there you go.
He showed us up and sperm whales you.
Spider beard.
Shoot sperm out of these instead of spider webs.
Sperm whale. Well, your whale come.
Thanks for having me. I brought found a random as fuck beer. It's called Bear Worship. It's a wild ale with Gamay grapes by Blood Brothers Brewing, coming in at fucking 6.8% ABV. So there's a place here. There's a couple places here in town, like little local restaurants that have a random beer fridge. So go in there. I went in and bought this, supporting, kind of Nick's neck of the woods a little bit.
Ooh, covered bridge chips.
Covered bridge.
There we go.
Like they burnt down, and I guess they're now until they get back up and running with their own factory. They're basically
they burnt down last April.
Like how some breweries do contract brewing. Covered Bridge is currently contract shipping.
Shipping. There you go.
And it's still pretty damn tasty. So I recommend it if you have Covered Bridge chips in your area.
I've never tried Covered Bridge chips. If I ever see them, I'll grab a bag.
They're good stuff, man. They're tasty.
Yeah, I had some of them earlier this week with my hot dogs.
Although if you have bad acid reflux, take some Tums first.
There you go.
Are they worse than like just regular potato chips in that regard?
I find they are.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, this has a pinkness to it. I'm not sure it's come through on camera, but this is definitely a pink beer.
All right. Ooh. Speaking of pink, ain't no hollow back girl. Actually, I think that's Gwen Stefani, isn't it?
It is.
All right. Okay, let's
speak.
Our Hall of Back Lee here. We got Mr. Lee Russell of High Tide and Vibe, and They Must Be Destroyed on Site podcast. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good, Nicholas. How are you?
Not too bad.
All right. So for my special beer I brought for Golden Ticket Night, I have one from Tatamagouche that I recently did an order from a week or so back. This is their Reverie Ode Bruin.
Ooh.
It sits at 7.1% alcohol by volume. And it's basically a Flemish brown ale in style. The difference between this one and most Flemish brown ales, they go a little bit the extra route here. It's slowly soured in red wine barrels, and it also has some blackberries added to the fermentation at some point. So they go a little bit above and beyond here with this one.
Nice. Sounds really good. All right. Thank you, Lee. Let's go over to everybody's favorite Greg. The only Greg, I guess, here, but
I am the only Greg. But tonight. Well, if another Greg ever joins, we'll find out which one we like more. But so I see everyone today so far. I don't know what Nick's has brought, but everyone else has brought their baby beers. But I actually found a beer that excited me at the LCBO, which is rare because I rarely see anything that excites me at the LCBO. But I saw this beer, and many of you have heard of our good friend wow, I just had a brain fart there. Sparkle Puff, that's the one I was thinking of. Everyone loves Sparkle Puff, right? because it's a delicious, 10% IPA. Well, looks like Big Rig has gone and made their own version of Sparkle Puff. So Big Rig Mohop Triple IPA at Mohop at 10.3%, which is a great percentage for a IPA. And also, I'm going to point out, this is also the Jamie Zinger of beers, because as we know, Jamie loves it when they use hops to instead of objects or letters, they use hops. So here you've got hops for eyes, hops for a mohawk, hops for a brain, hops for a bomb, hops for somebody spitting. Like, this is just full of hops. Like, Jamie Zinger will fucking love this if he watches this show. He's going to get all excited.
Yeah,
this.
that really
that's like the first new beer from Big Rig I've seen in a long time, and I
know I haven't seen it for a while either. I saw it. I'm like, ooh, triple IPA. Spoilers, and I have this. I have had this before, and I saw this like a couple weeks ago at the LCBO. I'm like, ooh, this looks like something I want to buy. And then Nick is like, we got to do a make it count golden ticket night. I'm like, well, I'm buying this again.
Nice.
You're right. That really does play into Jamie's special little brand of autism he has.
Alrighty. Thank you, Greg. And looking at that label, I mean, if you're gonna put that many hops on it and make it look so badass, and even put it on like a nuclear weapon on the side of the can, and using a hop, it better be like bitter as fuck too, rather than just
there might be some hops in it.
Yeah, really.
Well, there's carries.
It might have touched a hop or two. All right.
I'm pretty sure the bomb hop on that can is the exact same thing from their Alpha Bomb IPA, I think.
Oh, probably, yeah.
That was a really good one.
Alpha acids are the bitter ones, right? Like, that's the bitterness acids, right?
I don't know. We need Ashley.
There's alpha and there's beta acids. Yeah, I know we don't have. We're sextonless, so we've been kind of sexton directionless, at sea. So we've been lost without them. All right. Speaking of,
we've all become betas.
Right. Speaking of becoming betas,
I'm a delta.
And speaking of being lost without them, I've got a beer that's I'm kind of drinking in tribute to the best president the U.S. has had in the last 8 years, which is
Donald Trump.
Foghorn Sleepy Joe Imperial Coffee Stout, which is a 2023 edition, but what it is it's an Imperial Stout aged in Scotch whiskey barrels for 12 months.
Wow.
So this came out around Christmas. And
I'm assuming the ABV is 10.5, hence your name.
Yes.
I would hope so.
5% ABV, super barrel aged.
Nick has me beat by 0.2%.
Yeah. I brought the, well, it's 12 months. I mean, that's a super long time to age something in a barrel. That's almost like make it count.
Nickelbrook's Bastard, whatever they released, was 2 years. So, it's.
Well, they don't make
and they didn't call it special.
Well, maybe in car terminology, Nick's is super and Nickelbrook's is hyper.
Ooh.
All right. Since there's no comments, we might as well circle back around. We're going to start with Redbeard, and he's going to tell us all about his history with this beer, or Blood Brothers in general. Don't care.
It started there. I think I've had that much of this beer. Like I said, it was available place in town. I paid $14 for this fucking thing, so that's fun. I have another beer by them in the fridge. I might crack open afterwards. It's stout by them. I think it was 7%. It was like $9, but it's kind of coming through more. But this is so fucking pink, and after it came kind of clear with the first pour, but at the end I swished it, poured it in, and now it's like way more turbid, and it's a thing. I've had a decent number of beers by this brewery. I remember a while back, a friend of mine was there, post on Facebook or something, and I messaged him being like, hey, buy me some beers. And he bought me a bunch of beers. And then some of their stuff does come into the LCBO. But overall, pretty solid brewery, in my opinion.
Nice.
That's words I've said.
I mean, it sure sound like words to me.
Those words were ejaculated out of his mouth like a sperm whale.
Yep. There you go. All right. Thank you for giving us that waxy substance that were your words.
There we go.
Let's keep us rolling. Go on to Mr. Lee.
So disappointed in you, Nicholas. I shouldn't expect better though, should I? At this point.
Well, I mean, you already know what to expect most of the time, so
yeah, I
it's
guess.
on you.
I just want the expected.
I just want my friends to be better. I want them to raise up and better themselves. And every week it's just the same thing.
I appreciate you trying to improve us, and then even every time we fail, you still keep trying.
We've been doing these weekly hangouts for 11 years. You're really expecting us to still get better?
I don't know. Everyone says I'm a downer and I'm a negative and stuff, and yet I have that optimism, and I still keep coming back.
I still got that optimism.
He's optimistic. He didn't say he's intelligent.
That autismism? What?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely dumb as fuck.
What's you gonna do?
But yeah, my history of this, about 2 weeks ago, I saw it on Tadamagoose's website. It's one of the ones they brought back for like their, hey, we've been around for 10 years, so we're bringing back some like recipes we did in the past and stuff like that. So that popped up, and I was like, well, I'm definitely going to supplement my my order with a few bottles of that. And I did, and here we are. That's basically my history of this at this point.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
All right. Let's keep things rolling over to Greg. Greg, I imagine you get a history with, I mean, you kind of already gave your history on this one.
Well, I do have a history. I just kind of checking something out that I kind of, okay, wait, no, that's changed. Okay, never mind. I'm stupid. Yes, well, I have had this beer, so hang on. This is my second can. I just opened it, and we're pouring that. We're pouring that. Hold on, I won't make you guys watch the whole pour. And that's the start of my second can. So that's my history. In terms of Big Rig, what I was just looking at is I don't think I've had a beer of theirs for a while. Carrie's kind of right. I haven't either seen beer from them or just none of their beers has been interesting enough to me to actually buy. But yeah, I've had 11 unique beers from them, so that seems like a decent amount. I think from what I understand, I think a lot of their stuff is on tap only because it's I'm not mistaken, it's an Ottawa brewery or something like that. I don't know. Somebody can fact check me later, but I've heard a lot of their stuff is local because it's like a brew pub, so they don't necessarily can or bottle everything. But yeah, I mean, generally I have positive things to say about the brewery. They're not a particularly amazing brewery, but I think most of their beer I at least like. So I don't recall getting anything particularly bad from them, although their pumpkin beer is a little bit iffy because I think that's the one that often doesn't have pumpkin in it, but some years it does, and some years it doesn't. And some years the can glows in the dark, and other years it doesn't. Why would you ever have a can that doesn't glow in the dark when the option is to have a can that glows in the dark? What the fuck, Big Rig?
Yeah.
That's well, and they didn't make it with pumpkin for a little while too. The first time I had that, when it first came out, I think I was around there for its first release years ago. It was fucking delicious. And then after that, they just it never was. Yeah.
When Lady Lee and I came up to New Brunswick when we had one on BA101 or whatever, when we were trying to get that to work in Nick's basement.
It was a shit show that night.
Yeah, that was not only was the production disappointing, so was the beer, and we were just like, well, that ruins the whole trip. I mean, why? Lee was just like, why did I even bother driving up here? Like, there's no. Well,
me and Guy were actually at the brewery for that one, if I remember correctly, and the waitress lied to me, saying there was pumpkin. Yeah, it was not well planned. It was not a well planned.
No, the waitress probably just works there, so it's not like.
Well, yeah, she read the label and said pumpkin. She's like, of course there's pumpkin in it. Why would they not have a pumpkin in it?
That's simpleton.
Goddamn sim. All right. Yeah.
Anyways,
so
Nick, that's my history.
Big Rig was founded in 2012 by Senators defenseman, like Ottawa Senators defenseman Chris Big Rig Phillips. So it's like one of those
piece of shit.
One of those like guys who decides to go into build his own restaurant or
no, that's a baseball team, right?
No. That's lacrosse.
It's like that, like when that basketball player Wayne Gretzky fucking made like substandard shitty whiskey and beer.
The 99 stuff, yeah.
He used to have a bar in Toronto, but that closed down because apparently they didn't like his basketball whiskey.
Just doesn't have the big penis like Arnold Palmer.
Wow.
Well, there we go. I assume Arnold Palmer, the famous 70s porn star.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Something like that. He's done a lot of holes. Let's just put it that way.
That's true.
Wow.
All right. He was definitely a swinger.
Mm-hmm. See, these are good jokes, Nick.
Huh.
They're very good.
Hey.
My face is getting weirdly red today.
Must be my first beer in like a week and a half at this point too, since the last golden ticket night. But
this is probably a bad night for me to drink too much because I have less blood in me right now. Look, my face is so red.
Maybe you need the iron in a beer to.
Yeah, you're right, Dr. Nick. This is healthy for me.
Yeah, that's why you should drink some dark beers after this.
Oh,
all right, so Foghorn. My history with these guys goes right back to the beginning of this brewery in late 2016. I'm not going to get into too many details. I've had a number of beers from these guys over the years, including the original coffee stout that came out with, which is called Joe. So it makes sense the Imperial version is called Sleepy Joe, because this is a kind of an Imperial version of Joe that they put away in a barrels for an extended period of time. As far as my history with this specific beer, other than previously mentioned, is I drank one of these on New Year's Eve while watching movies with Lee and Greg. So I've already kind of know what to expect with this one. So maybe now that I've sobered up a bit, how is this thing drinking now? I will reveal here in a moment. So I'm going to get down to the comments. So we've got two from our favorite, always seems to want to watch instead of showing up on the show. Brandon, I'm drinking a beer
some people get performance anxiety, Nick. They prefer to watch. It's a thing.
Yeah, so they're cucks. Anyway.
Whoa.
Okay. I'm drinking a beer by Flying Boats called Juice Box East Coast Hazy. Yeah, I'm not calling Brandon a cuck so much. I'm just
no, you're just
like those kind of like those like to watch kind of crowd.
You're just implying that he's sitting in the corner jacking off while we're on screen fucking these beers like they like to be fucked.
You're saying that
you're face fucking these beers right now.
You're saying he's the reason. You're saying he's the reason that they always put that extra chair in the hotel room.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Oh, we're putting the meaning into
sperm whales. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I don't know what's happening, and I can't hear you guys at all for the last like 2 minutes or so. So I need to like reboot this.
Yeah, we can totally hear. We can totally hear you.
Sorry.
Check and see who's more.
Well, Carrie will be back.
I'll
just say for the record that I have met quite a few, well, not quite a few, but at least a few people that are very cucky in their relationships, and they're often very nice people. I think cucks get a bad rap.
Yeah,
they just get turned on by something different than actually the actual act.
The Worm says, of all the bits to miss, that was the bit to miss of all time. Hey, we aim to displease. We definitely put the shit in shit show. I don't know if it's the caffeine in this beer that's making me. I've only taken a few sips of this thing so far.
Yeah, the caffeine's not going to hit you that quickly. What are you even talking about?
I don't know. Coffee I find hits me pretty quickly. So
I mean, the smell of it triggers the old anus, but you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Brandon says, yes, that was great.
Worm has come from my channel. All the cheers, Worm.
Oh, there we go.
He's one of my mods. Said this comment before you left. I love the undergrads reference on this. Rocco beating himself out,
much like Mission Hill.
PC whip.
Sadly, a TV series that ended in one season on a cliffhanger and it needed at least an extra season.
Yeah,
remember Oblongs? That was fun too.
That one was all right.
Yeah, but it
wasn't as good. Like Mission Hill, Undergrads, they were fantastic shows.
Or how about Twin Peaks season 3 and David Lynch was rude enough to die?
Yeah.
Well, no,
Gordon Cole was rude enough to die.
He pretty
much
off screen. Yeah, but I mean, he pretty much said that was his definitive statement.
Yeah, I didn't get a sense that there was going to be a third season. I would have, a fourth season. I would have liked the fourth season, but maybe not by David Lynch. Maybe by somebody else who would actually explain the third season to me.
Didn't they bring back?
That's what I need.
Didn't Clone High come back or something? But it wasn't.
I thought Clone High did come back, didn't it?
From what I heard, it did. Gandhi wasn't
watching
there.
that too. That was
the new
show.
characters they added didn't look the same. Like it was all fucking weird. I didn't watch it and I didn't hear great things about it. But the first one did end on a pretty big cliffhanger. It was like to be continued! Exclamation point! Question mark! Exclamation! That show was so fucked.
Yeah, there was 2 new seasons on Max that of Clone High with 10 episodes each. So
2 seasons! Holy crap!
Yeah. So there was like the original run of Clone High, and then in 2023 they came out with another season. So the last season was in 2024. Does that mean it's still going? Like, is there going to be no?
Don't ask me, man. I'm not the king of television. I don't decide these things.
Wikipedia article says the show's depiction of Gandhi as a party animal received negative backlash from India. No shit.
Yeah,
well, you know what? If you ask me, that Gandhi, he need to lighten up a little bit. Fucking ass.
So what was the episode where they were working and like we eat our mistakes, and he'd like, it was like Abe Lincoln, that it was a broken plate. He had to eat the broken plate. It's like fucking coming through his cheeks and stuff as he's chewing on it. Like,
I mean, maybe if Gandhi was a little bit more fun at parties, they wouldn't have assassinated him.
Whenever I think of Gandhi, I think of that commercial for Gandhi 2 on UHF.
Yeah.
Like, no more Mr. Passive Resistance. He's here to kick some butt.
There you go.
I don't recall
Wow,
that.
that's so poor taste.
We need.
You know what's not poor taste? This beer.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, I don't even know what actual Gandhi looks like. I just assume he's Ben Kingsley.
And I heard there was a revival plan for.
You know what? I can picture him in my head, but and Ben Kingsley, aside from being the wrong color, would basically looks the same. Yeah.
A little brown face never hurt anyone.
He honestly, like Michael Keaton did a great job, and they changed up and stuff. But like, if they wanted to be comic accurate, Ben Kingsley would have been the perfect person to play Vulture in the Spider-Man movies. Like perfect. Anyway,
so Worm says,
decrepit old man.
I heard there was a revival plan, and then did not hear a thing about it actually happening. That's wild. I assume he's talking about Clone High still. And there was supposed to be a revival planned of undergrads or something, like a TV movie.
They were trying to make a movie. They've been
trying to do that for years, but it's been stuck in limbo for like 20 years now.
There was a Kickstarter campaign or something, if I recall correctly. And then King of the Hill is still supposed to be coming back, apparently.
There's like 20 years later, King of the Hill or something.
Yeah, which, like that. It's going to be interesting how they address the whole Luann and her boyfriend both being like in real life dead. Like Tom Petty and what was her name? Damn it, she was Brittany Murphy.
Yeah. They change voice actors all the time. They did.
But no, I feel like
she was like
with them, they'll probably write them out. Maybe like something happened. Like, I don't know if they changed the voice actor. Like
Luann was
it's
pretty
kind of
young.
iconic. You know what I mean?
Luann was pretty young at the time they made that show. So I imagine when she comes back, there we go. That she's going
Jesus
to.
Christ.
I know.
I know. Suddenly, the voice of God.
Fucking Windows is controlling. And you know what? I have the shit turned off to like let the operating system or let the application control my volume, but it keeps fucking yanking
I got
my
the same
volume
problem,
down.
man. I got the same issue. It's fucking stupid.
Windows. Fucking Windows. It just turned it down to 61%.
Look at my eardrums.
It's adaptive.
Okay.
It's trying to save us from you.
All right. So yeah.
What you were just saying.
I
think what you were saying was Luann was she was like 20 maybe when the show aired.
Well, yeah, she was young in the show.
Back, they could have, if they got somebody who kind of sounded like her, but
sounds like her, has the same kind of accent, but it's a different voice altogether. They
can't replace Tom Petty. I'll be mad if they do that. They try that.
Sure they can.
I would just say write him off the show and say he's dead, died of a heart attack.
Well, he ate a corn chip that was not. He choked
was on the floor for 10 seconds. He broke a rib and died.
Jesus.
Wow.
All right. So Brandon says,
that's too soon, Nick.
I never even knew or seen any of the newer ones. Well, I'll have to check that out. Just take a look. The Worm says, laugh my ass off. Cafe manager Napoleon. We eat our mistakes. Or Lincoln.
That was going back to the Clone High Abraham Lincoln having to eat the plate. It was Napoleon was running the cafe. Yeah, that's great.
I think it's been like 25 years since I last, or 24 years or something like that since I last saw that show.
I remember for whatever reason, there was one thing in one episode where JFK was high and or something. He was like speaking backwards, and me and my friend were watching it. And for the first time ever, I like used my computer because we were watching the. I still back then, even back then, I was watching everything on the computer, downloaded from torrents and stuff. And I took a clip of that and opened my sound stuff and reversed it, and it was like JFK was like, "Clone High is a great show. We should win an Emmy because we're sneaky or something like that." But it was played backwards. Like, and there was I remember in one episode where they had a riot or something, and but the principal was Scudworth or something, and he's talking to his robot. He had like a robot assistant, if I remember correctly. He's like, the pool, they flipped the bitch, because the whole pool, they somehow like you flip a car, they flip the pool. Or the episode with Ponce de Leon, where he got killed by litter.
Hey, Brandon of highest backup. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, so
not tomorrow. You won't. Brandon's gonna call in sick.
Yeah, Brandon's calling in sick because he's drinking.
Or maybe
he's drinking more beer than I am on Golden Ticket night.
Well, then again, I don't know. Nick's got a big boy beer. I don't know. We'll see.
I've still got this much of my glass.
I feel like your work should acknowledge the Golden Ticket, and the Golden Ticket you're having tonight should also
give me a free
golden
day
ticket. Off. Yes, exactly.
100%.
I should be allowed to come in 4 hours late.
You just have to stay 4 hours late.
I could just accidentally sleep in, and Brandon has to give me a wake up call.
And it'll be like in person with his talk.
I've had interesting experiences with that in the arena.
I feel bad for Dwayne now. Maybe he'll get 100 calls. His buddy at work is on call this week, so
it'll be easy to get Brandon to wake you up if you just have that extra chair in your bedroom.
Oh God! Okay, that's not the image I want. All right.
I wonder who Brandon is going to watch Nick fuck.
Garfield.
Whatever random street hooker he picks up from New Brunswick.
It turned out that after the high ABV beer, he had to try out the new Garfield fleshlight he made.
Oh, Jesus.
There you go.
That almost makes me want to look on Google to see if there is a Garfield fleshlight.
Well, you're going to do it later.
Made with real cat teeth.
Right now.
Made with real cat teeth.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh God, that would be just freaky.
Garfield. Well, yeah. Hold on. This one's not even too.
Oh, there's a Garfield. There's a Garfield.
Somebody's just taxidermied an actual cat skull with some Garfield stuff.
Okay.
It's a lasagna fleshlight.
Lasagna fleshlight.
It's great.
So Nick, you just need the shell of a fleshlight.
We talk about fleshlights, and guess who shows up? You got on the 10th beer reviews. Off the 10th.
Oh, there we go.
Mr. Kleizak himself. How you doing, Chris?
Also, Carrie just got smarter for some reason.
Lasagna.
Wow.
Oh, dude! Like Worm adds a fantastic element of comedy to my live streams. He's come out. Yeah, Worm. He's good shit.
Yikes. Okay. Wow.
I like having worms.
Well, does he drink beer? Tell him to come on the show next time.
He's got beers. Come on up.
We'll literally take anyone.
Literally. Okay. So speaking of taking anyone, let's circle back around and take Redbeard and see what he thinks of his beer.
I kind of randomly went upstairs, let my mom have a swig, and like she's kind of anti-beer, and now and then but she thought this was fantastic. It's it's very reminiscent of like a Flanders ale. It's pretty tart, so Greg probably wouldn't be a big fan.
Yeah,
it's got a really kind of winey smell to it, like the grape thing is there. It's really unique, but like just fizzy, tart, fruity flavors. It's fucking. This is a beer for someone who doesn't like beer, kind of thing. You tell them it's a cooler. Tell them it's a wine cooler or something, probably to fool them, and they try it and be like, "Oh, this is tasty." And be like, "Ha, you enjoyed a beer." But yeah, this is
how dare
fantastic. The bottle doesn't have a date or ingredients on it that I can see, which like I'm not sure how this would age. but I feel like I'd at least want to have the year on it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not super impressed by that. So I'm going to give this a 7.75. I would give it an 8.75, but that's the way I roll.
So that's 7.75 for overall enjoyment or style?
I guess that would be style. Overall enjoyment, I guess I won't take those things into effect, and I'll give that a 9. I fucking loving this.
Nice. All right. Thank you, sir. Let's go over to Mr. Lee is next.
So the Reverie Ode Bruin, barrel aged on in wine barrels, red wine barrels, and also blackberries added to the fermentation at some point. This is almost on the edge of not being an Ode Bruin or a Flanders Brown. It's almost pushing into the territory of what Carrie's got going on, where it'd be more like a Flanders Red or a Wild Ale, where it's like, oh, we're pushing the limits of like, is this going to start just becoming an all-out sour or not? Luckily enough, there's enough going on where it still kind of falls into the sort of Flemish Flanders Brown kind of style. Keeps a pretty good head, and it is kind of brownish in color. Malty, and I think the interesting thing here is it's got a couple different flavor things going on. Up front, you do get that wine barrel stuff, like especially in the nose. You smell it a lot. And in drinking it, you get like a date grape kind of winey thing with a little bit of sourness. Yeah, date grape.
Date grape.
but balancing.
Poorly phrased.
I dare someone to release like a high alcohol like wine cooler that's called that and try to sell it in like bars or something. Imagine that. Anyway,
I think they do well for like a week or so, and then there would be outrage, and they would be like canceled into oblivion, probably.
Rightly so. Yeah. But anyway, as I was saying, there's two sides to this. There is the sort of whiny, sour component to this, but it's not quite sour. It's like it's tart, bordering on sour. But then there's this chocolate maltiness to it that really comes out as you're drinking it. It's got a almost medium body to it. Like it's malty. It feels like it has heft to it when you're drinking it. And with this style, you don't really get any hops or anything like that. Like you shouldn't detect hops at all in this style, and you don't. It finishes on like a kind of woody, chocolate and slightly sour kind of finish. It's got a lot of things going on in it. I dare say, like the wine notes almost come off like when they're combined with the blackberry, they almost come off like cherry or something like that. Even this is really good. I'm pleasantly surprised with it. You don't really get the alcohol all that much. 7.1. It's not super high in alcohol, but you really don't detect any. For an Ode Bruin, I'd say it's just barely fits into the style, but it still has a lot of the qualities that you kind of expect from the style. This is just a slightly divergent twist on it. So I'd say it's a good 8 for style, honestly. Just because it does kind of push the boundaries of the style while staying within them at the same time. And my own personal enjoyment, I gotta say a 9. It's a really drinkable, enjoyable beer. Like I said, it doesn't go over the edge to becoming like full on sour. It's just like a really good like wine tartness to it. So they didn't go crazy with like the sourness or anything like that, which some modern breweries are wont to do these days. I feel like whether they do it on purpose or they just fuck up and sour their beer by mistake, and call it a Flemish Brown or
certain
Flemish
brewery Red. That used to exist here in North Bay that is folded now, maybe called New Ontario.
Oh yeah,
old Ontario.
Yeah. I wonder if that's actually a thing or if Carrie's just being elusive like Dan.
Never.
Yeah, but
there's a video on Albino's video of him opening a beer by them and it just exploding. So yeah, they had issues.
Yeah, but that's my tuppence for that. 8 for style, 9 for personal enjoyment. I think it's really, really good.
Sounds really good. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Lee is just firing the fancy words this evening. I like it.
Yep.
Yeah,
like shooting it off like a sperm whale.
Like date grape.
Date grape, yep.
Date grapes. Getting all those dates grapes. All right.
He's the best date grapist I've ever met.
Yeah, people are lucky I don't go on dates. That's a good thing.
Oh wow! All right.
Otherwise, there might be grapes.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that this beer started to hit me now that I'm losing control.
Wow.
And off camera.
So I have held that this beer is it's basically Big Rig's take on Sparkle Puff. But to put my money where my mouth is, Sparkle Puff.
Literally where your mouth is.
I've decided to do a side-by-side taste test, and boy, am I going to regret this tomorrow. So this is the Big Rig. This is the Sparkle Puff. Now, I don't know how many people realize this. I didn't actually realize this, that both these beers are actually flavored. So Sparkle Puff has peach puree and natural peach flavor in it.
Ugh.
And this beer has mango puree and natural mango flavor in it. So this is essentially a mango flavored, a peach flavored beer. Now, before Mr.
I'm not sure why Lee is going all like.
I hate both those things.
Some of the best, really mango.
Wow. Yeah, not a fan.
So some of the best IPAs I've had have been mango adjunct IPAs, to be honest.
Now here's my question, Mr. Lee. Have you actually had either one? Like, I assume you haven't had the Big Rig, but have you ever had Sparkle Puff before?
No.
Okay, so I was just curious if you actually don't like it or you just don't like what I'm saying about it. Okay.
He hasn't had it.
Opinion's useless right now.
So the thing is about it, now this might potentially make Mr. Lee a little happier. I didn't realize until literally right now that Sparkle Puff was flavored. Like I didn't realize. I thought it was just a triple IPA. I didn't realize that there was an actual adjunct peach. It doesn't taste like it's on its own. Now, when I compare them side by side, suddenly the Sparkle Puff does have a little bit of a sweetness to it, of almost a fakeish sweetness that I'm assuming is kind of the peach flavor. It's not saying I noticed on its own, but when I do compare it side by side, meanwhile, this one that supposedly has mango in it, I don't get any mango flavor whatsoever. Like to me, I would think this doesn't have any adjuncts in it. Whatever adjuncts it does, they seem to be fairly minimal. On its own, the Sparkle Puff also, I don't really get a lot of peach stuff from it, but when I do compare them side by side, there's definitely a sweet flavor to this. And it's almost like I associated like the sweet flavor of like a fake sweetness, like something like when they do natural flavor, it's like, oh, well, this isn't actually raspberry, but it's supposed to taste like raspberry kind of sweetness flavor. That's kind of what I get from it. So I maintain my opinion that this is essentially a Sparkle Puff clone, but I actually think this is maybe a little better than Sparkle Puff, just because to me this is. Wow. If you gave this to me, didn't tell me what was in it, I would just say this is a triple IPA, and I don't know. Sparkle Puff to me is a little bit more fake tasting. I'm
fake flaving. Fake flaving.
Fake flaving.
Flava Flav.
So
Nick, change the chat name again.
If somebody gave you the Big Rig one, you think you would guess triple? You wouldn't guess double? It does have like a bite to it. Is what you're saying?
Both of them do have an alcohol astringency, so I do think that I would, at the very least, think this is a pretty high double. Like to me, this is more than a 7 or 8% IPA. Like there's a certain astringency to these that kind of I do pick up. Now that's just me. That's just the way I guess I detect flavor. Whenever there's a beer that I sort of find astringent, I get a little bit of a nuttiness to it. And that's kind of how I tend to pick up high ABV beers. So
sperm whale.
something. Yeah, basically, that's the sperm whale just spermed in my mouth, and then something in the ocean, blue whale.
Jesus.
Nick's penis is bigger than all of them. But anyways,
what the fuck? Bigger than a sperm whale?
Oh, you took that so much further than I expected. That.
Listen. I'm sorry if I just ruined this ocean analogy for you guys. I really apologize. So that being said, I mean, literally, I think I actually do think, even if you don't like adjuncts, I think Sparkle Puff is fine. I think it's only when you compare it side by side with this other beer that you actually even notice anything. Normally, like I said, I've had Sparkle Puff probably 20, 30 times at this point. I have never noticed the adjunct flavor until I did it side by side and then looked at the label. I'm like, this is a little interesting.
So here's my big question. Since it's supposed to be a Sparkle Puff clone, does it sparkle chunk like Sparkle Puff?
No, that part it does not. Now this is not an example of sparkle chunk, because as you can tell, there's really no chunks in this, but it is a little bit hazy. Whereas this one is on camera, it does not come out so well, but when you compare them side by side, the Big Rig is a good deal more. So hold on, this one is a good deal more clear than this one is. It may not come out on camera that well. In fact, looking at it,
yeah, they look exact to us, I think. But...
yeah, on the camera, it does not come out that well.
To see the chunks in sparkle.
If you actually look at the chat, the picture I took is actually more true to life at how the difference how different they look. Yeah, I mean, listen, they're both great. I like Sparkle Puff quite a bit. I like this quite a bit. I think it's very smooth. You can tell the alcohol stringency there, but otherwise, you could drink a lot of this, and probably not feel too great the next day, unless you're Carrie, who's just immune to everything, and then you'd be fine. But
so, do you think Notorious Hater or Sparkle
I
Puff,
can't explain things.
A fat guy in a Hawaiian shirt who sits by his pool, do you think he'd like that beer over Sparkle Puff?
I think I'm not sure he'd necessarily like it over Sparkle Puff. Like, to me, they're basically equivalent beers. That's only when I'm doing the side-by-side comparison that I'm like, okay, I kind of think I like the Big Rig a little bit more, but they're both really great beers for what they are. 10% IPA. First, I mean, how many 10% IPAs are there? If you're in the US, you got a lot to choose from. In Canada, not really. So any 10% IPA, that to me is a smooth drinking. You can enjoy it and maybe not realize how much alcohol you're ingesting is great. So these are both great. Like, I've had triple IPAs. Now, granted, a few triple IPAs I had were very early on in my beer journey, but when I drank them, I felt like I was chewing the beer. I was like, oh my God, this is a thick fucking beer. I tried a beer, I think it was called Dragon Slayer. It was from Flying Monkeys, and it was at a beer fest. I've never actually seen it available otherwise. I can't even find it on tap, so there's a good chance I made it all up. But I remember drinking that beer, and I was like chewing the beer. But again, that was like 2 years into my beer journey, so maybe I felt very different about beer than I did then. It was also maybe triple IPAs were very different than they are now. I don't know. I wish I could drink it again, because I'd love to try it again just to know what it would be like now. But anyways, I really like this beer. It is, quite frankly, in the words of Klizak, it's fantastic. As far as triple IPAs go, I mean, how much competition is there? I'm going to go 9.5, both style and personal preference. This is, I mean, I'm kind of leaving a little bit of space in there for, like, is it a perfect IPA? Probably not, but it's very tasty. Would I want to drink this all day? I mean, for my own health, probably not. But if I take health out of the equation and the fact that I'm 40, almost 42, and I'd feel like garbage the next day, I would fucking just want to drink a 6-pack of this every day. It's delicious.
Nice. Wow.
So that being said, I mean, if I were to do a comparison, I know we're not doing this, but I mean, I'd say like Sparkle Puff's like a 9.25. It's like maybe I maybe like it slightly less, but it's still delicious.
1A and 1B.
Basically, yeah. It's like.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Well said. I'm amazed that Big Rig actually made a better Sparkle Puff, even without the chunks.
They did. Now, one other thing I will address, I forget, I think it was Lee who said it. about this being should it be extremely bitter? It's actually not. If you're going in looking for a super bitter beer, it's not. But neither is Sparkle Puff either. But it comes off as more like, not that they don't have enough hops, because the flavor of the hops are there. It comes off to me as more they've just balanced it with the malt, which to me is I like a beer like that. I like a beer that actually has malt to balance it. So, but if you're looking for malt for like puckering bitterness, you're not going to quite get it from this. So I suppose the hops might, to some people, might disappoint you on this.
Yeah, it was Nick who mentioned the bitterness. I wouldn't say something that fucking stupid.
Oh, was it? Okay. Well, then Nick. But I mean, wow, something just flew down the stairs. I hope it wasn't one of my dogs.
Feel the love?
Can you feel the
But yes, definitely recommended. Especially, I don't think it's that expensive at the LCBO either. I think it's like $4.50 a can. Something like that, so.
I don't think you'd be able to feel a sperm whale. I think the shock to your body would be so quick and immense. It would just be over in a second.
Wow, usually it is over in a second, right, Greg?
If a male sperm whale does a clicking thing, it's apparently enough to like shatter your eardrums and shit.
Wow.
It's one of the loudest sounds an animal makes, I believe. I'm not wrong.
Jesus, Carrie. Nick tried to make a premature ejaculation joke, and you just talked over it.
Yeah, Carrie.
All over its face and chest and neck.
Oh,
there we go.
Redeemed. It's fine.
Right from that other chair in the hotel room.
Pearl necklaces.
Pearl cuck necklaces.
Nick, I'm gonna make you a cuck chair on my YouTube premium account.
God. All right. Now I have to follow all this up while drinking most of this 10.5% beer after I haven't drank anything in the last week and a half, and I'm already
somebody's tolerance isn't so good.
Wow. Okay, this is really hitting me like a ton of bricks right now. Okay, so let me see if I can try to form a sentence about what I feel like about this beer.
Nick getting slapped by a stout.
I'm getting like bag slapped in the tea bag.
Last time I did dry February, after like a week and a half of not drinking, I had 2 beers at a local bar, and then on my golden ticket night, and then I got into a fight with somebody in our parking garage.
Wow.
So have fun, Nick.
The old Etobicoke, the old Fast and the Furious.
Well, this stupid bitch parked in a way that blocked my wife from parking her car. So while my wife was trying to be diplomatic about it, I went off on her because I was like, "Why the fuck are you parking here, blocking a fucking parking spot?" Anyways, Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, right. Okay,
that was great. I love this.
Okay, so I still love it. It's you get that like the go to the stout qualities. You get that roastiness, like bits of chocolate. The coffee's there. I mean, the coffee's about a year old at this point, so you kind of do get a little bit of that stale coffeeness kind of to it, but it's still pretty tasty. It blends extremely well with the dominant focus of this beer, which is the barrel character. I mean, if you age a big 10.5% ABV, Imperial Stout for a year in barrels, is going to pick up a lot of that barrel character. And maybe not like the youth of the barrel, but at the same time, you get like, I get like big ashy smoke, medicinal notes from the Scotch whiskey. It makes me really curious, like which Scotch whiskey they used in this, because I'm not sure if it's like a Lefroy or a an Ardbeg or something like that, or a Talisker. I'm just naming a bunch of whiskeys I've tried, and it's really, you do get a lot of the Scotch whiskey character out of this, and I'd be really super curious to know which one they used. The medicinal ashy smoke character blends extremely well with that slightly stale coffee note. And the one thing I remember is like the first time I had this, I remember it being like super thick, and I fucking enjoyed it. It's a little, well, maybe it's because I was drunk at the time and my recollection was rosy. Because this time I feel it's not, I wouldn't call it thin. Like I wouldn't be like Paul and say, hey, it's a bit thin. Maybe just slightly thin. It's like thinner than I remember. But man, this is still like better than like pretty much all of the New Brunswick made Imperial Stouts, barrel-aged Imperial Stouts I've had to date. The best ones so far, really, and you know what? I find them hit or miss is Trailways. God love Trailway. They made some solid efforts in there, but I always find that their Imperial Stouts are thin. This is far and away the best New Brunswick made Imperial Stout that I've ever had. This is like fucking incredible. Does it stack up to a Double Tempest? Or a Bear Bring Out Your Dead? I mean, maybe. It's not quite as
probably current versions it might.
Well, yeah, I imagine, yes. Like, I feel like it's slightly thinner than those ones that I think it stands up well to like the majority of barrel aged stouts. Like, this is one that I should save and bring to a bottle share at some point if we ever do one again. This is a fucking incredible beer. I'm gonna give it a 9 for the style, just because I feel like, well, and you know what? Actually, I'm gonna upgrade that to 9.25 for the style, just because I feel like the thinness that like it could be a little bit thicker. I'm really nitpicking here because it's almost perfect the way it is, and overall enjoyment at 9.5. I fucking love this beer. This is incredible. Even though this beer is about $17 a bottle, actually I think it's $17.50. It's absolutely worth it. If you want to go to the Foghorn and Rossi, New Brunswick, like I'm talking to Brandon right here. Actually, I know he doesn't like stouts, so he might not like this one here. But
how big is that bottle, Nick?
$6.50. So
okay.
it's actually oversized. It's pretty
okay. Okay, it looks small for some reason in your hand, but
no, this is a bomber. This is
a big hands.
Because so many beers nowadays are 500s that it's like, yeah.
Well, that's just it. Like, I will say that like recently I had that tiramisu Imperial Stout from Trailway. That one was a fucking great value because I could get that thing for like $5 a can. This is way more expensive. That one was barrel aged too, but this is better. Like, I found the other one wasn't so much cloyingly sweet, but because they were making it as a dessert beer, it was just it had loads of barrel character and Imperial. It was even stronger. I think that Trailway was like 11.5. But this is what I want when I buy an Imperial Stout. Like, I want a nice, thick, syrupy beer, loads of barrel character. I want to be able to taste both the beer and the booze, like whatever it was aged in. And I'm getting both out of this. This is great stuff. I love this. I don't think it's quite as good as like Double Tempest or Bourbon County, but it's still, or Bring Out Your Dead, but I think it's right up there in the same league. And I've never said that about a beer from New Brunswick before. Like as far as Imperial Stouts go, because most of the time the ones I've tried from here are like, hey, this is a close approximation. They aged this for a little while in a barrel that was probably used before, or what happens in, and Lee might sympathize with this. Anytime like a barrel aged beer that's made in the Maritime, where did they get those barrels from?
Glenora. Fuck Glenora.
Burnt fucking barrels.
Yeah.
Anyway, that have been used 2 or 3, 4 times. Like Hammond River Brewing used to make one called Quicksand Cheeses, which I liked. The last batch of it particularly was pretty tasty, but it's nothing compared to this. Yeah, no, this one here. If you live in the area, seek it out. This is fucking tasty as shit. Well worth the $17.50 a bottle.
You want your beer to be tasty like shit.
It tastes like shit. Yes.
That's the code. That's not something they ship, I assume, to Ontario.
Yeah. We got comments here saying, "Oh, I am trying more stouts and opening myself up to them. I want to try many more." I remember you were saying you didn't like the bitter or the roasty stuff. So like maybe it's like because of the bitterness. Like
keep trying it, man.
Keep trying it. I mean, at the same time, yeah, palate. You might lose your kind of like. I always find like when I first started getting into beer, like I hated IPAs. Like the first time I drank, there's like one. Remember Garrison made that Imperial IPA. The first bottle I ever had of that, I dumped down the sink because I thought it was fucking terrible. Give it 6 months, I was buying them all the time because I fucking loved them. It's just a matter of palate shift. You it's weird. Like you kind of like they make jokes about like IPAs taste like shit because they're all so fucking bitter. I'm like, you know what? There's accessible IPAs out there. There's accessible stouts out there, but after a while of drinking them, they all taste pretty good.
Yeah, IPAs taste like shit because you have a baby palate.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's true because I mean, most people grow up on stuff that's sweet. Like children generally have sweet stuff, and that's just a natural thing. And because sweet is like what a baby palate. Not even making fun of anyone. That's just what a baby palate enjoys. And then to get into like a more bitter, sour flavor stuff like that, you have to develop that flavor. Like I didn't like IPAs when I started. I especially didn't like stouts when I started. And you kind of develop it, but the big key is, and this is the one thing with Lady Lee, is that Lady Lee doesn't really, as far as I can tell, I don't think she really wants to. Well, Lady Lee always lives in my head rent free, but she doesn't really seem to that interested in developing a stout palate, which is fine. My wife is the same way, and I do think if she were to work on it, she could actually love stouts. And I'm only picking on her because she's kind of the stout hater in our group right now. But if you don't want to, it's not you're not going to get into it because you don't have that desire to, and that's fine too. It's just I feel you do have to have a little bit of that desire to kind of break through. It's like for you guys that don't like sushi, which is 1, 2, 3 here. If you don't work on trying to develop a taste for it, you'll never like it. But once you develop a taste for it, you might love it.
Like for me, you can basically my entire craft beer journey is basically there on my channel with my 1,000 days of whatever. And IPAs, when I first started trying them, like and way back then, like the video was me drinking the whole beer. It was like 20 minutes, 30 minutes long, like just drinking the whole beer. And it was Octopus Wants to Fight by Great Lakes Brewing, where suddenly it was like, take a drink and it's like some fruity kind of juicy, like it's like the palate shift happened. And to this day, like Belgian yeasty beers, I've come around to them. I generally don't mind them these days, but that's the only style that I can think of where I'm still like not fully there. But yeah, just trying stuff again, man. Like just And again, like as far as sushi goes, here, at least here in North Bay, having the hood fan job and stuff, I don't want to go there because of the sushi and I don't want to go there because I know what their
gristle.
The back of the house looks like and the way and like just how like this piece of sushi might give me a fucking botulism or something. I don't know. It's just fucking terrifying. So
I feel
the one place you brought me to, you got a fucking half price discount with a random mouse
because they caught a rat or something.
Yeah.
And
believe me, next time I go there, I have every intention of bringing a dead mouse to get another half price discount.
It's like a coupon. They're get dead rat.
It also kind of like turned me like how casual the guy was. Who came out of nowhere with that fucking tissue and grabbed it and walked away? Like he's done that before. Yeah.
Yeah. No. There's definitely an issue there, but I also don't give a fuck. I mean, I've never gotten sick from that place, and I find it delicious, so I don't give.
I would
say botulism.
It's just like me and McDonald's.
No, botulism was a joke. That was just like no. If anything,
I don't think McDonald's will ever make you sick because that shit is like so cooked that you're not gonna get sick from that.
Yeah, I was making a joke, but
I went there today and had the like they've got the whatever showdown menu going on with McDavid and Austin Matthews, the hockey thing. I'm sure Lee and Greg are totally in tune with.
Oh yeah, I know. I love Austin Matthews. He's the best Leaf player. I love him.
Yeah, but he's got
so
like
many
some
baskets
powder thing.
Oh, yeah.
I had that today because it was the only thing that was like kind of like it's a barbecue quarter pounder that was just sopping in barbecue sauce. It was not great. And then the McDavid one is the double Big Mac.
The McDavid one's basically a double Big Mac.
That's all it is, double Big Mac. And there's a couple other stupid things on the menu.
Your burger is leaking and it's soggy. I'm not eating it. Fuck you. Learn how to make a fucking burger.
So covered in fucking lettuce.
These fucking
lettuce.
these fucking little like
There's lettuce on
gastro
the Big
pub
Mac.
fucking bullshit
pounder.
corner fucking bars and stuff. They have their foo fucking burgers that are like 5 feet tall. Fuck you. How are you supposed to eat that shit? If I have to take your fucking burger apart to eat it, it's not a burger.
Burgers.
No,
Yeah,
there's a whole movement out there called make burgers wider, not taller.
Yeah, yes,
I agree with that.
100%. If you have a fucking double burger, it should be double this way, not double this way. Because my mouth can only go so big. But you can give me a massive plate-sized burger.
McDonald's can give you a double whatever, and it's still going to be basically fucking as thin as a piece of paper. But most other places,
doesn't really have good patties,
any like local restaurant that has like a fucking 8-ounce patty that's a decent regular burger patty, you double that up, it does become quite the thing. But most places at the same time don't make their own burgers, so to make like it wider, it's I don't know. Having to run a restaurant is quite the thing.
The few burger, well, I'm not gonna say burger place. The few restaurants I go to that serve burgers, they'll actually order a burger at. Like when I go to a restaurant of any kind, I often order the burger first because I'm like, if you can make a good burger, I maybe potentially trust you to make the rest of the menu, because a burger should be so simple. A burger should be so simple, but so many places fuck it up. There's a few places that I do trust to make a burger, and
I want to live in a world where Bob's Burgers actually exists. And I can
I was gonna say all those places that I love that make a burger, and some of them are even pseudo fast food places where they're kind of chains, but they make their own patties, and that makes a big difference, because
there's a couple places here in town that are like great local places with fucking fantastic burgers. Are fucking fruit flies.
Fucking fruit flies. You got a Mr. Miyagi. You got a Mr. Miyagi that shit. But
oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Lee. Go ahead.
I was just going to respond real quick to Brandon's comments here. So first off, he says, Lee, you're lucky. You got 5 guys. Other than 5 guys, the only place I love is Daryl's. Well, I've never been to a 5 guys. Is there a 5 guys in Halifax? I'm assuming he's saying.
I'm thinking that's what's going on. Like Brandon goes to Halifax like every month or so.
5 Guys is pretty damn tasty, but it's pretty goddamn expensive as well.
Yeah, it is expensive, but it's delicious.
You're like 3 hours away from Halifax, aren't you, or something?
Well, no, it's more like an hour and a half on the highway or whatever. Okay. But I don't drive, so I don't go to fucking Halifax. I mean, it's just So I've never been to Daryl's or the 5 Guys in Halifax. So.
I mean, that being said, if you're talking like equivalent, like if you fucking look at like Agnes and I eating at 5 Guys cost us about $35. Agnes and I eating at McDonald's, and I'm not ordering off the fucking dollar menu here. Agnes and I eating McDonald's, she'll usually get a quarter pounder. I'll get either a Big Mac or maybe a quarter pounder. I don't know, one of those things. It costs us about $25. So it's like, I'll pay the extra $10 for 5 Guys, to be honest, but because it's like prices are out of control no matter what you get.
Yeah,
is the reality? But yeah, is 5 Guys expensive? Yes, but only because they kind of market themselves as a fast food place, and I would argue they're better than fast food. But because they market themselves as a fast food place, they're like, oh shit, that's expensive, and
it's like kind of Firehouse Subs or something like that, where it's better than Subway, but it's a premium thing.
Well, I will say
between the bun here in North Bay, man, fucking the best goddamn sub shop you'll ever go to.
I will say, I was just gonna say, if I ever like go to Halifax for a significant amount of time, like every time I go to Halifax, it's always like I'm just breezing in to like do a change on the bus or whatever, or I'm going somewhere else or something like that. Like I've never like really spent any extended time there for the most part. But if I ever do like end up, we're doing like a fucking get together or something in Halifax or some bullshit like that, then I'll keep Daryl's and 5 Guys in mind. I'll seek them out. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, something. But unfortunately, food in general is really fucking expensive. Like nowadays, it's fucking insane.
It's been a good thing I've been eating like a bird the last little while, because I've been just going to Subway or rating the value menus to get low calorie stuff. But it's always been stuff like the one thing that's making the diet that I've been on work is that I'm kind of focusing on stuff like I would get anyway, but just picking the lower calorie stuff that I would get. So like some chicken wraps or something, or Tim Hortons or something. But it's been working. I've lost 36 pounds in the last 4 months.
You've got like a jawline again. It's kind of impressive.
Oh, I'm starting to get that sexy Nick back. I think bringing sexy back here.
And with all the money you're saving, Nick, you can literally buy every David Lynch movie on 4K.
Well, I did buy. I bought Lost Highway.
Yeah, yeah, you did. I know you did. Nick.
The other, and one thing, and Brandon knows him, but Jamie at work, my movie guy that keeps giving me movies to watch. He convinced me to buy the Twin Peaks Z to A, which is like season 1, 2, and 3 Firewalk with Me and everything. This is a new release that's coming out. He's like, "Oh man, you have to buy this because it's like $71.99. That's an amazing deal." I'm like,
that is a good deal.
Yeah, and apparently it's like episode 8 of Twin Peaks, the one where they have like the scene with the like got a light and the bomb scene, and plus something else. I think the pilot of Twin Peaks itself is all in 4K. So I'm like, it looks like an awesome kit.
I got the Lost Highway soundtrack years ago from Columbia House. It was like
it's a good soundtrack.
A bunch of like heavier, like my introduction.
That's where I heard of it. My brother had the Lost Highway soundtrack, and that's where I heard of it. Like I love "I'm Deranged" by David Bowie.
I've still never seen the movie, but no, like David Bowie. David Bowie's more random, heavy kind of stuff. Like "I'm Deranged" or his whole Earthling album with like "I'm Afraid of Americans" and shit. David Bowie was fucking fantastic.
David Bowie was awesome. But yeah, like sometimes you gotta sit down and watch that,
as good as David Lynch.
Lost Highway and see if you understand it.
David Lynch Bowie.
David Lynch is fucking
I've never seen live.
He's a mad genius.
I've never seen really anything of David Lynch except for I've seen.
Watched Lost Highway.
I've seen Twin Peaks.
Did we highlight here?
I've only ever seen it once.
Congratulating you, Nick. You see that shit?
Hmm?
You've been congratulated.
Oh yeah. Thanks, dude. Like you know what? Like
I got good people in my chat.
Yeah, he's like a good guy. It was just something that I tried, like just to see if, like, okay, well, some people are suggesting I try calorie counting. I'm like, okay, I come up with this. I find this thing called zigzag calorie counting, which is like allows me for 2 cheat days a week, so Wednesdays and Saturdays. And in the meantime, like between those days, just eat is like keep it to. I've been trying to keep it between 14 and 1,700 calories those off days, and then on Wednesdays and Saturdays I'll just do whatever, because like Saturday nights we'll usually like have a watch movies on Discord or otherwise binge drink or something like that. And Wednesdays, of course, I'm doing this show
like healthy people.
They're like healthy people that will do this, but like on the other days I'll skimp, and I've been losing like weight like crazy, like losing 2-3 pounds a week since I started doing this. Since I started keeping track of my weight, I've lost 36 pounds since October 5th. So, and I took 2 weeks off for Christmas. So even with that, I've lost 36 pounds, which is crazy.
I'm not sure how it works. Like
I'm under 280 for the first time in years, which is awesome.
You're losing at a nice kind of steady rate. I want to say, like you're not doing, like I'm not sure.
Like Scott's doing. Like Scott lost like 40-50 pounds.
Yeah, but he's got diabetes. So
yeah, he's on Ozempic. So
I'm not sure. But I'm wondering again, like the whole like you see people that lose weight really fast, and again, like they've got the weight and the extraneous skin. You know what I'm talking about? Like
where you get this like bagginess. So far, I haven't had any issues with that. So.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're losing a nice like people that drop it really drastically. That can be like again, like I've seen like
skin doesn't have time to contract.
Ladies, whatever, and it's like I've seen people walking down the street where they got their pants and their shirt, and this like just like this extraneous flab is kind of like
you remember that big what's his name, Ethan Suplee or whatever, that big, he used to be a big fat guy in the 90s. He was a character actor. He was in Mallrats. He's the guy who looks at the fucking changing picture and he can never see the boats or whatever in it.
Wait, is he the guy
okay.
My name is Earl and shit?
Yeah, that guy.
Yes, no, he was in the movie The Hunt. as his like new buff stuff. He's fucking jacked now.
Yeah, but he's one of those people who like lost a lot of weight really quick and did have to have like surgery to remove the excess skin and stuff like that, right?
Well, you see the picture. Like, he's got like a kind of a weird kind of little. It almost looks like a distortion in his skin in the lower. But because but like he's great. I loved him in like he was also in The Butterfly Effect as Ashton Kutcher's weird friend. He's been a bunch of random shit, and then like now the only thing I can recall again, if you see the movie The Hunt,
I've never seen The Hunt. I don't think
it's a newer movie.
Is that the one with the lady who kind of wakes up, doesn't know where she is, and everyone's after her, and then she turns the tables on them?
But her and a bunch of other people wake up, but you probably think of the right one. It's a pretty good movie, and I think you. It's like not.
Wait, is that one where right wingers hunt down left wingers, like or left wingers hunt down right wingers? Like it was either vice versa, one or the other.
The lead actress
kind of like a bunch of rich people hunting people that that had criticized them or something. Basically,
something like that. Okay, whatever.
And there's one person I can't think. In the beginning of it, like when they're all kind of like waking up and stuff.
Yeah. That's the movie I'm thinking. That's the movie I'm thinking of. And the lead actress is fucking great in it.
Yeah, there's like kind of like a Hunger Games. She's not. Kind of like a Hunger Games kind of thing. Like there's this crate with all the wet, and everyone runs to it. And then there's like a pretty famous actor that is like there, and you're thinking like it takes a minute to show you who's actually going to be like the main character. Do you get point of views and stuff? And they're at this thing, and you think I know this guy, and this and that, and all of a sudden his head's gone. It's just like it was a pretty fun movie.
You're spoiling the beginning of the movie, Kara, but yes, the movie's actually really good. The actress, that's one of those movies where the actress really carries that movie. She's fantastic in that movie because she looks like Uma Thurman, but she's not Uma Thurman.
I don't think it's the same, but she's very similar. There's a show I've been watching recently called Silo.
No, it's like Betty Gilpin. She's actually the lead actress in American Primeval as well. She's a great actress.
The worm says, "I can't see the fucking sailboat." All right, this is like a 3D puzzle or something on the wall. Remember 3D puzzles were all the rage back in the 90s. And you know what? Like I got this weird, like I haven't noticed. I got this weird thing with my eye, like where it drifts off, like. But I've never been able to see those 3D puzzles.
Well, you just got a lazy eye.
All I've ever done, like it took me a while to figure it out, but then that one
lazy eye, does that look like a lazy eye to you?
You've got to make yourself if you're able to make yourself like see double. So you got two of them and then line them up, and then boom, it pops out every time. That's what I do.
For what it's worth, I have perfect 20/20 vision, and I've never been able to see any 3D puzzles.
It took me a while to figure. Once I figured it out, I can see them all, no problem at all.
Yeah.
All right. So we're well over an hour. Why don't we finish this thing off and do this? Let's go over to Mr. Redbeard and say, of all the beers, I'm gonna put Redbeard on screen. Of all the
shit! It's a Spider-Man fleshlight.
It's sperm whale beard. All right, so Gary, of all the beers you heard here tonight, which one would you rather have had?
It was kind of it was close until you went on your goddamn semi-professional sounding rant about your delicious stout things. So yeah, Nick's beer. I want that stout pretty badly.
How dare you be professional, Nick? Fuck you.
Motherfucker.
I think it really means that I need to do buy another bottle of this and do a review.
I think it actually means that Nick needs to upload some reviews because he's so professional.
I think Nick needs to buy a few. I would pay shipping plus the price of that beer to have one. Send me beers. Fuck you.
Yeah. I should do that. Like you got all that beer. You got all that money from the streaming channel.
Oh yeah. I'm a rich YouTuber now. So
I checked though. It's not available right now. I would actually totally pay Nick to send me some, but it's not available at foghorn.ca right now. So unfortunately,
well, I'll have to go down and take a look because I bought 2 bottles of these when I was down on Saturday.
Bottles.
I can go look. I can see if they got any.
Well, they said sold it on their website, but yeah, I would totally.
I got another golden ticket coming to me for Saturday. I can always go back down. But all right,
so carry there.
Happy again.
All right, let's bring up Lee. And Lee, all the beers you heard here tonight, which one would you like to have tried?
So Carrie's sounds too similar to what I was drinking tonight, so kind of disqualifies that one a little bit. Sounds like a good beer, but otherwise, it's just like I'm kind of drinking the same beer, just like maybe slightly a little less sour.
Burn in hell.
Oh well.
Wow. Okay.
Probably will anyway if there is a hell. Gregory's it just sounds like the kind of IPA shit I'm not into at all. So
it's like the cuck chair of the hotel you just don't want to be in.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the cuck chair. I want to be doing the fucking. So
there you go.
Yeah, I'm not going to have those beers. So I have to go with Nick's. I just Nick's the easy choice. He's saying all kinds of smoky fucking peat fucking Lafroig kind of Isla stuff going on and all kinds of cool shit. So that just sounds
Nick's got some kind of AI assistance going on, probably.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Lee. Let's go over to Greg and see his final thoughts. Which one would you like to try?
Well, I mean, Carrie's Flanders Red, not so much. I mean, I don't know. Nick's, it sounds like a good stout, but I don't know. It sounds a little too stouty for me. So I'm thinking of going with Lee's because, Lee's is a Flanders Brown or something. It's from Tatamagouche. I like Tatamagouche. I've had beer from them. On the other hand, I'm definitely not voting for Lee. So we're going with Nick.
Fair. I wouldn't vote for me either.
I was about to say, Lee's beers also got some sour stuff, and Greg is not a sour fan. So
no, I mean, literally, this wasn't a choice.
I knew where you're going with that. That was good.
I mean, I tried to trick you, but you're just too smart for me. No, I mean, honestly, like Nick's beer sounds amazing, and this is why I'd love to actually try Nick's beer at some point because I like to know. I always want to know: is Nick full of shit, or does Nick actually know what he's talking about? And I'm going to challenge you to this, Nick.
Sometimes.
Nick, I make you a challenge right here on live thing. If you, Nick, literally just upload every video you have, every review that you haven't put on YouTube, I don't care how many of them there are. There's 100 of them, 200 of them, 1,000 of them. You don't need to edit them. Just fucking throw them on YouTube. I will watch every single one, and I make you that promise. I'll watch every single one. But wow, I want all your reviews on. Yes, I'm desperate for Nick reviews because Nick is a very professional motherfucker, and I will watch all your reviews, and I'll even thumbs up a few of them, but not all of them.
Wow. Have to take a look, see what reviews I haven't uploaded.
There you go.
Anyway,
just throw them on YouTube.
I've already put everything up for the Big Axe Fest in the summer, and
I want old school Nick. If you have ones that sound like Jamie, bonus.
Especially if when back before Jamie stole your voice.
Wow. All right.
What the fuck? Why would Jamie do that? That's such a dick move.
Jamie's an evil motherfucker. He not only has the weird hop pictogram autism thing going on beer labels that attract him or whatever. He's also just evil. He's some sort of voice stealing demon.
Again, he probably told me this in confidence, so I shouldn't tell you guys this, but I'm drunk, so I'm going to tell you. Not only does Jamie like to sit in the cuck chair, but he'll also make fun of you for sitting in the cuck chair.
That seems hypocritical of him.
Yeah, it's awful, but
what are you, a fucking beta cuck while he's there jerking off in the chair?
Some people are just like that,
All right, so thank you, Greg, for all those thoughts. My turn to. It's already unanimous. I know who won, but not saying much. But
I like how Nick is fixing his hair because he's so sexy right now.
Yeah, get that. I got my jawline is back. I don't have the fucking turkey neck as much as I used to anymore.
Well, you had a jawline. You just had 3 of them before.
Yeah.
It's just like that song from the 90s. Ben folds 5. She's a brick. Folds 5. Anyway.
Wow.
All right. Wow. That is super 90s reaching. Okay. So of all the beers that I heard here tonight, Gary sounded pretty good because I can't remember that beer worship. Which one was it? Was it I noticed that there's a couple of different versions of that beer online. It's was it the barrel aged wine barrel aged one?
Didn't say barrel aged, just said like wild ale.
I noticed there was some couple of weird flavors. It was like strawberry, and there was like a
strawberry one would be good.
Mm. Anyway,
that beer would lend itself to some like raspberry, strawberry, blueberry, any berry would like that would lend itself to those flavors in a big way. I feel like that'd be great.
Yeah. Whatever, it didn't win. So Greg sounded really incredible. The big rig, like they made a better beer than Sparkle Puff. That's actually really cool. That said,
mildly better.
Triple IPAs have been done. Lee's with the old Bruin. I kind of want to try that.
Wow.
I mean, I could order it online, I guess, but I'm probably not going to. But at the same time, of all the three, it would be Lee's, and then Greg's is a close second. And you know what? They're not even that far apart. I would love to try everybody's.
You die in a fire.
Wow.
Yeah. Kill me in a fire.
I mean, I feel the same way. Nick should die in a fire. I mean, come on, Nick. I'm not even going to watch your reviews anymore because you're an asshole.
That is so loud.
So, cheers, motherfuckers. I guess I win this week with the golden ticket day.
This weekend week.
I made this one count, and I only had to drink one beer.
And I think we learned some important lessons tonight as well, Nick.
Anytime you pick up a wrench, reach for a control, use a grease gun, grab a welding torch, or work on any machine while forgetting safety, you're shaking hands with danger.
Shake hands with danger.
Jesus.
When I started out, I almost expected and hoped for like if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge them all.
Dodge a wrench. You know what? We should at some point, if Brandon pops on the Discord, show him the shake hands with danger commercial because I think he'd like it.
That'd be
especially
good.
Where he works in the stock room half the day and at work. So
he can't listen
shake
to
hands with danger.
He can't listen to the official theme song of this show though.
White people, yay! White people having fun. Global domination over everyone. White people smile so bright. Genocide for anyone who isn't white.
Okay, I thought you were gonna play the Santa thing with the pumping.
Oh yeah,
do you want fat Santa or muscle Santa?
Yeah, I got that on my soundboard.
Nick, have you considered giving everyone on YouTube your heart? You know, the kind of like Elon Musk did. Like, have you considered giving everyone your heart?
I'm not giving the salute if you're not talking about it.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Not a Roman salute. The Romans haven't used that in thousands of years.
I like the idea of just give your heart to everyone. Like you got to give the heart because why not?
Radar's like so long. Max will star on YouTube.
Yeah, all right.
No, literally nobody cares on YouTube. Can I make a suggestion? I want Nick to recommend 5 IPAs for Brandon, and we're going to do a show where Brandon tries those 5 IPAs, and he gives us an opinion. He doesn't have to drink them all. We don't need to get annihilated, but he can just
drink them all.
You know what? We should do that. BYOB.
Yeah,
drink them all. Call and stick to work next day.
Well, we can all bring fucking like what we think are good entry level IPAs. But I want Nick to recommend Brandon.
You know, however many IPAs. That actually isn't a bad idea. BYOB entry level IPAs. Maybe we can do that in February.
Well, but the important thing is Brandon will try one, and every time he tries one, he's gonna say either, "Oh, this is not bad, I like it," or "Nick, you are so full of shit. Fuck you. I hope you die in a fire." Those are his 2 choices.
Oh my God. All right. So that in mind, we haven't talked. Brandon says I'm good for this. All right. So we haven't talked about what we're gonna do next week's beer, but next week we're gonna go back to boring old fucking non-alcoholic beers for one more week, and then
see you, Carrie. We'll see you in
February. We'll see you in 2 weeks, Carrie. We're gonna do non-alcoholics next week, and then that's it for that. We're gonna go back to beer, regular beer.
I'm gonna go back to beer.
I mean, Red Beer could always buy one actual beer, written non-alcoholic beer, and just have to buy a single for next week, and then go back to drink a real beer for the next.
Or what if he buys a real beer, but then he waters it down to the point where it's 0.5% alcohol?
Or you could get non-alcoholic beer, and just add vodka to it.
Oh.
Well, I could just cancel out the ABV like you did that one time.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, he gets a 10% beer and he holds his finger over the 1.
Oh no, Carrie, you should really try a Fax 0%. They're delicious.
Oh, I don't believe you.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
Right.
No, you just take a Sharpie, you take out the one, and it's
that's right. I forgot.
0%.
I forgot.
Brandon will do something that we recommend for him.
We got 5 years right now. Hey, it's a record for lately.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks.
It's been a few,
Cheers, people.
While. I appreciate everybody watching. Cheers to who we got in the chat. The Worm. Nice to meet you. We got, of course, Brandon and Radar in there.
Worm.
Off the
He's
off
a great
the
worm.
was in there for a little bit. I didn't catch who else was there.
He was there for one comment, wasn't he?
Yeah, he probably just popped in
to say he was while he was pumping iron, working out, trying to burn off that carnivore diet.
Yeah, because he's so fat.
Yeah, because Chris, he's only like 3% fat, so he has to get that weight down.
I don't think Chris works on it. I think Chris just relies on his muscle coming from all the dead animals he's murdered, and he's just like, yes,
all the animals he's eaten. Thanks for the views. Have a good night. Yeah, thanks for coming on. Hopefully we see you again. Probably the next time Carrie's on when we're drinking real beer.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now Lady Lee draws an audience, and now Carrie draws an audience.
Wow, it's a whole.
And Carrie doesn't even have the tits.
Nose girl. Remember her a while back?
Carrie
who? Kim likes nose or something.
Yes.
Yeah, remember her?
That was a while ago. But yes.
She almost became like a stalker. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, I like Modest Mouse, but I mean, she can stalk me, but.
Maybe she'd fuck you before she cut off your penis, Carrie.
Right.
I mean,
well, I
prefer the stingy sensation of that.
I feel Nick called dibs, so let Nick get his penis cut off first.
I've got every studio album of Modest Mouse on vinyl. So.
That certainly counts for nothing.
Right. Carrie can get like sloppy second penis cutoffs.
All right. Well, we're taking off. We'll talk to you
there's a penis.
Don't ever speak to me again.
Happy Halloween, ladies.